Well, hello again everybody. My penultimate recipe from the cookery school before we start again from home. And I'm going to do a couple of sweet recipes for you today. The first one is a classic pavlova because it's a really nice feel-good dessert, good family dessert with very few ingredients. So you need 3 medium to large eggs, you need 200 grams of caster sugar, the finer sugar, and you need a bit of a crazy mix of 3 other ingredients. So you need a teaspoon of regular corn flour, and into that you need to mix a teaspoon of vanilla essence or vanilla extract, and then also a teaspoon of vinegar. Now I've got white wine vinegar. You can literally use any type of vinegar you've got. I wouldn't use balsamic. That would be what anyone to avoid. A bit strong and a bit black, AJ.
Now I'm right in thinking though, if you haven't got those 3 magic ingredients, you just end up with a crispier meringue.
Yes. So okay, the big difference between a meringue and a pavlova is a meringue is solid and crisp all the way through, and a good pavlova should be mallowy in the centre. And it's these 3 ingredients here that create the mallowiness. There's a bit of science behind it, which I'll tell you a bit later on. So you can still make a crisp meringue with just this, but this little mixture gives your mallowiness. Now, a few tips with meringues. First thing is you need to have a scrupulously clean bowl. And the only way to really guarantee that is by using either a glass or a metal or a ceramic bowl. Don't use a plastic bowl, because however clean it looks, there can often be a film of grease on there. And if there is the faintest bit of grease, you won't be able to whip the egg whites. So we're going to separate the eggs first of all, but we're going to do them one at a time to make sure that we've got haven't got any yolk in with the egg white. So separating an egg. Think about the egg being that way up in an egg cup, so the yolk sort of settles down towards the bottom, and then we're going to pop it in our hand and we're going to give it a quick crack like that, about sort of 2/3 of the way up, like you would if you're taking the top off an egg for dippy egg and soldiers. We all like a dippy egg, don't we, AJ? Oh no, you're funny with eggs, aren't you?
Yeah, can't stand it.
See, I love an egg sandwich. AJ can't bear it.
That's the worst thing in the world.
Right, what we're going to do now is we're just going to peel off that top, and we're going to let the white just gloop out into the dish.
Gloop, good word.
Technical word, that.
Yeah.
Now you're going to end up with a little bit of the white still clinging to the yolk, so we're going to do a little quick transfer to get the remaining bit of it. This sinewy bit is called the shalaza. It's a bit like the sort of umbilical cord if it was a proper fertilised egg.
Yeah, let's talk about that some more. Okay, moving on swiftly. Cheers, Marie.
All right. Well, you know, I like a bit of science. I'm doing this the wrong way around. You
need that, there you go. There's your bowl for your yolks.
I'm ill prepared this morning. Now, rather than crack the white straight into the bowl, we're going to do it individually, because knowing me, I'd get a bit of yolk going in the last egg white, and the whole lot would have to go into the bin or into an omelette, so it's not the end of the world. But try and separate them individually. Now the eggs should be at room temperature. They whip much better. If they're very, very cold, they don't hold as much air. Yeah, we've had our moments. Right, hold on. Bit noisy here. When you're whisking, do move the whisk and the bowl. Don't just stand there like that, because it will take a lot longer. And you want to get as much air in as possible. Right. Now this is soft peak.
There we go.
So basically you turn the whisk completely upside down and see what that little bit of meringue's doing. So if it goes completely over, it's soft peak. That is medium peak.
There we go.
Stop smirking at me,
Sorry.
AJ.
Look at that.
Stiff peak.
The background here is that Maria is a meringue queen. She's just there's nothing like it.
Thank you. Scones, meringue, bakes.
Yeah.
I leave the proper cooking to you.
Well, no.
Now, this is where AJ can't make meringues, because AJ is your typical bloke. Obviously, there are many forms.
Other blokes are available.
Other blokes are available. But you've got to put the sugar in a spoonful at a time. You've got to whisk it in between, okay? And that gets your really stiff, glossy meringue that you need. Now, if you're making a pavlova, what you're also going to do is drizzle this magic mixture in between from time to time. Basically, the acid in there stops the egg whites cooking to a very, very stiff form, so that gives the mallowiness. The cornflour gives the texture of the mallowiness, and the vanilla hides the flavour of the vinegar. That's the sort of science behind it. Right, I'm going to show you one or two, and then I'm not going to make you sit through about 10 minutes of me whisking. I will return. So I'll just show you to start. Sprinkle. And then odd little bit of drizzle. And keep going like that until that's all used up. I'll get there, then I'll come back to you. Okay, so we've got a really, really thick, shiny meringue.
So how long's that taken?
What, about 5 minutes?
Yeah,
5,
probably
6
a bit
minutes
more,
or so,
yeah.
I would say. Theoretically, you should be able to do that, but let's not just do that just in
It's
case
good to
something
try
goes
that bit
wrong.
over the top of your kids' heads, I find. Says somebody with no kids.
Or not. Right, okay. Easy, sorry about that. Now, meringue is about the only exception of somewhere where you do need to lightly oil your greaseproof paper. So a little bit of oil on there. Now you can make individual meringues, pavlova rather, a large one, or you can use this to pipe different shapes as well. Easiest one is just a regular sort of rounded pavlova, which I'm going to show you how to make now. So you want a nice sort of blob in the centre, flatten that out. Okay, I believe in sort of pavlovas being pretty rustic, to be honest. Now, the yolks we're going to use, I'm going to use in the next recipe. I'm going to show you how to make a real classic creme brulee. And this recipe therefore will use the eggs together, and also if you buy one 600ml pot of double cream, you can use half of it to top the pavlova with whatever fruit you've got, and the other half of it will go with the yolks to make 4 good sized creme brulees. So it's a really sort of good, you know, double ingredient dessert. So that's your pavlova shape. But AJ, you're going to come and show us all how artistic you are.
Not really.
You're going to do a bit of piping?
A little bit, yeah.
Come on then, come on round, AJ.
Right.
So what's quite nice with this is if you keep a little bit of the meringue to pipe some shapes, actually known as meringue kisses.
Well, that's it, you know, romantic at heart.
But, and the only sort of kissing you should be doing at the moment.
Absolutely, no kissing. So I've just got a piping bag with a little nozzle on if you've got a home, but you don't need to have the nozzle. So I'm going to get as much of this in the bag.
If you struggle doing it that way, you can put the bag over a jug and put the meringue into the jug.
Maria's been very generous here and left me enough for about 1 meringue kiss, so thanks for that. So this is going to...
Look, AJ, you're not going to be able to moan at me for the next 3 months, probably. So.
So you know, I've got a whole parking bag and I've got 1 meringue kiss in there, so that's good.
Oh, stop moaning.
So little...
Do you not want your paper?
No, a little bit on the... everyone's got... Yeah, so Maria's pavlova, unfortunately, is going to blow away in the oven.
Hang on a second, hang on. Have a bit
Don't
more.
use any more of my meringue, you've had enough. So, yeah, you always want to put a bit of meringue underneath your paper like that, because everyone's got fan ovens, and it's not a problem with Maria's pavlova, but with little meringue kisses, they'll just disappear. So, all you're going to do is you want to squeeze down. You've got a movable tray. Stop squeezing, and then twist. So squeeze down, stop squeezing, and twist.
AJ!
And then you can do lots of little kisses. These are really good for gifts as well. If you
or petit fours, because
you know,
we're going to have to recreate our posh restaurants at home.
Everyone's having tasting menus at home at the moment.
because you can just literally use those to sandwich them together with a bit of cream, can't you?
Big shout out to Helen, who I used to work with at Steins, that taught me this.
We love
There
you,
you go.
Helen.
So there you go.
Look, you've still got some left in the bag after all
Yeah,
that
all right,
moaning.
fair enough. Yeah, we'll put that in the middle of there.
Oh, beautiful.
So yeah, so just another little way you can do it. You can draw shapes if you anything, and it'll all just cook in the oven nicely. So it's good for the kids to be involved.
Yeah, and all joking aside, that, you know, this is a nice one for kids to do. And I'll show you later that we'll put cream and fruit, and then we'll just pop little meringue kisses on the top.
So they're going in the oven now. Then?
Yeah, so they're going to go into the oven, 120 degrees. That's gas mark 4. If you've got an Aga, pop it into the slow oven of your Aga and just leave it overnight. The key is to try and keep it as white as possible. The best way really is to put it in for an hour, this size meringue for an hour. These will take a little bit longer.
Bit less.
Sorry, bit less.
Yeah, absolutely not, yeah.
And then ideally turn the oven off and let this stay in the oven while the oven cools down. So that'll dry it out. You should get that lovely mallowiness. So we're going to do that and then return. So we're back to this lovely pavlova. It cooked for about an hour, and then I turned the oven off and just let it go cold. So it's nice and sort of crisp on the outside, but I can tell it's still got that mallowiness in the middle. And then it's a little bit coloured and again sort of firmish, but with a little bit of give to give that sort of sticky chewiness in the middle, okay? So I should be able to invert it onto my hand, peel the paper off. Remember, as I said, even if you've got parchment paper, a little bit of oil just because of the sugar content. And then let's get that onto a plate. Now, literally, whatever fruit you've got kicking around. I'm just going to whip my cream. So I've got some double cream. Like I said, if you buy 600ml, half will do the creme brulees and half will do the pavlova. Biggest risk with cream is over whipping it. So I'm going to use an electric whisk, but you almost want to stop just before it's thick enough. And also, double cream thickens on standing, so it's going to get thicker as this pavlova waits to be eaten. If indeed there's any time.
There's never any time waiting to eat pavlova. I think that's it.
So I prefer it to be a little bit sort of gloopy.
Silky.
Silky?
Yeah, not gloopy.
Okay, silky.
Look at that, perfect.
Because you don't want it so solid that it sort of falls off the pavlova.
I noticed you obviously didn't put any sugar or anything in it, probably because the pavlova's sweet enough.
You would put sugar in it, AJ. I'm just going to go and get a spatula in a minute. But I also don't think it needs it, because it is just pretty much pure
I
sugar.
normally, if I've got anything, it's a little bit of vanilla or something. I always think it is too sweet with the sugar from the pavlova.
Okay, that's a good shout.
So
I tell you what, okay, something else really nice. If you've got any rose water.
Or some of that booze we were talking about earlier. A bit of Grand Marnier every time.
You like your Grand Marnier?
Yeah, vodka, whatever you've got knocking about.
Yeah, but sweet sherry.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, back to we are a Methodist school, obviously.
Yeah. Not online.
Right, okay, so what we are going to do is just pop this on the top. Lovely. So little ones are good as well if you haven't got all the time to bake it, if you've got to get something else in the oven. Just spread that out a little bit.
I love the amount of cream you put on stuff. How you're not on that my £600 live show? I don't know.
Sit still. I'm going to come back from this. You're going to see me gradually get bigger.
Yeah, because it's
the next
an
3
epic
months.
amount of cream.
We're going through the door in about 3 months. Oh. Right. Okay, so we're just going to plate this. I think don't go too sort of smart. Rustic is good. Try and get a couple of contrasting fruits if at all possible. Pile it up. Bit of centre height, as you would say.
And we're going with sort of 3 to 4 inches of cream per pavlova, is
Yeah,
that right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, it just sunk with all the weight of it there.
Look at that.
And then a few more on the top. There we go.
Beautiful.
There
Can I eat that?
you have it.